Good evening, tubers. White Mexican back again for another video here today. Getting right into it, I'm just going to be reviewing some cards from Dual Power here just to kind of compare some of the price ranges, the differentiations from the pre-orders that I found a couple weeks back. So we got infinite permanents here, sitting about 60. I'm not going to go too in depth with this because, you guys can just look this up here. Everyone knows how to do this. So I'm not trying to do anything that you guys can already do yourselves. Just trying to make it a little bit easier. What I'm kind of more interested was, I believe this was like 50. It was pre-selling at 50, just super high. I called it. I knew that was going to drop way less. These are of course for the eBay pre-sales from a seller that I looked at before this all dropped. But I'm really surprised. The only thing, like Infinite Permanence, I'm surprised that it's holding 60. I didn't think it was going to hold that much. But everything is relatively cheap besides this crazy Cyber Dragon stuff. So I'm still waiting for my cases, unfortunately. Card Demise is holding a pretty nice dollar amount. I ordered my 4 cases offline, and I'm still waiting for them, so I want to be a little behind the game here, but it's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to go too far into that. I was just trying to take a look at that really quick. Anyway, this Topologic Trisbania, I think this is a really good card. There's a couple tubers that referenced this card and mentioned how good it was, and I've kind of seen it around on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, and it's really good. It's kind of a card, I forgot about it, not too old. Flames of Instruction, a couple sets back. And right now it's about $6. It's actually the cheapest. First edition is $7. I actually just went on eBay and found one for $6, near mint first edition. So I just bought one of those actually right before I loaded up this video. But this is a really good card. I think it's one of the stronger rank 3s. Of course, we have Borload, Sword, and all that crazy stuff. But I think this is another good alternative choice. Another card here is Ally Justice Core Destroyer. I think this is kind of a cool card for a lot of random light decks running around. It's got a pretty cool effect, and it's only a single print, and it's mad cheap right now. You can get first edition Mirror Mint for 3 nickels. So just an alternative choice there. Moving on to Secret Forces, I think that there's a lot of good stuff. Of course, all the Secret and Necross stuff is over here, which is really expensive. But beyond the popularity of the Necross stuff, there's some pretty cool cards still in here. Like, everyone kind of forgot about the Manju because, it got reprinted, which is pretty cool. The Yusenju stuff is pretty cool. Abyss Dweller. A lot of the supers are really cool here. And they're all just ridiculously cheap. Like, even on the first page, cards start going under $1 on the very first page. World Decree. There's a lot more nicer versions than this. I actually wanted to go over this card really quick because this is like the ultimate side card. No matter what deck I'm playing, I always run a playset of these. This is literally I think it's the best trap card in the game, in my opinion. I love it. Of course, evenly matched is super great, and infinite permanence. We have all these strong trap cards nowadays, but I just think this is like the trap that stops traps. And if you're not countering it with a counter trap, it just pretty much dunzos. And there's a lot of awesome rarities available. I personally really do like the Hobby League 3 one. Unfortunately, it's kind of, I don't know if it's made from a different stock paper or what, but they're a little bit thicker, so you gotta be careful depending on how strict your tournament is, your locals, or wherever you're playing. But I really do like this one. It's like the Parallel Ultra Rare, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $2 over here. Dark Beginnings, super rares. What I really like though is Dual Saga one's pretty cool, but it was like the Champions pack or Tournament pack 6. Man, this went up so much. I'm really surprised. It must have had just like a buyout or something, because these were literally like $5 or $4 or something. Yeah. So wow, I didn't even know that. I didn't prep this or anything. I'm just near mint, lightly played, looking at World Decree from the super rares from Tournament Pack 6. These are my favorite prints of these. Of course the ultras are just unattainable. just really super old and expensive and all that crazy stuff. But that's interesting. There's only two sellers for the super rares, and they're sending at 25 bones. So it's kind of interesting. If you have those definitely went up. But yeah, this is just a really incredible card. And there's a lot of cool rarities. You know, like the Tournament Pack 6 Super, Dual Saga Ultra, the Hobby League. It all looks pretty great. For what it's worth, honestly, for the price, I think that this one looks the greatest for its price. It's only $2, and really awesome rarity. But I just wanted to kind of go over that really quick. But there's a lot of good stuff in Secret Forces that is just so cheap. I'm not gonna lie, the rarity looks kind of cheap, the super rares, but for what it is, it's got some really powerful cards in here, and they're still hollow, they're still super. So like this card as well, Burial from a Different Dimension is a really good card. Soul Absorption for combo decks. Vanity's Emptiness. Whenever this comes back, this is of course there's a secret rare, but that's gonna be a couple dollars when that comes back. It's really cheap. Armageddon Knight Super in here. It's just like a lot of cool plethora of stuff that's just in here that I really appreciate. I think this is one of my all-time favorite cards from this set. Super Rare Soul Release. This is the current highest rarity of this card. Pretty sure the rest of them are just commons. Yeah, they're just all commons. Super old school card, but just really amazing. I think it's a great side card, depending on what you're playing. Really cool artwork. Really nostalgic card. And I think this is a really underrated card. I think a lot of people don't play this card. And like, look at this. It's like 40 cents. It's got 15 near mint first edition. It's super cheap, and like I don't know. There's something about this card. I think it's really powerful. It's really cheap. It's got killer artwork, and I think it's really playable depending on the circumstances. So this is definitely one of my top cards from this set. The Yusenju, you can get a Yusenju core like so cheap. I personally bought several boxes of this a couple years back. Most of them are still sealed. But Secret Forces, I would just take a peek at it. I think it's an underrated set. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in it for how cheap it is. So check it out if you guys want to. Another side note here is Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. So I'm looking more specifically at the original Super Rares. There is a really cool Secret Rare from, I think it's one of the Legendary Collections. The infamous Legendary Collections that I always talk about. But right here, it's like less than $2, around $2, not even $2 right here for first edition Lightning Blades. Always want to go first edition for these old school cards. And this is just a really cool card. It's a dark, it's a spellcaster. I mean, its stats aren't bad for what it is. It's a level 4. And it just has 2 effects that are pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure it got errated. It used to be able to, if I'm not mistaken, used to be able to remove any type of cards from your opponent's graveyard, which is awesome. Now it's just got changed to just monster cards. And your opponent can't remove any cards from either player's graveyard, which I think that is just such a good effect. And like I said, this is a really old school card, and original print first editions are, I think, for $2, that's a really good deal. Necro Valley. So I want to talk about some side deck field card alternatives, which is going to be Zombie World and Necro Valley. And I've been kind of experimenting, different things with these cards. People kind of forget about how powerful these cards are, and obviously it's going to be situational if you can actually run these cards in your builds, depending on what you're playing. But just in general, I think it's not a bad idea to pick up these cards for side options, or just to have in general. The new text that was updated for Necro Valley is really great. It looks super awesome. And I think it gave this card just a little bit of a power boost in general. I think my personal opinion, obviously, it got a little bit better. And this is the Duelist Saga version, which looks really great. And it's a couple dollars, about $3 for the first edition. So there's plenty on the market. But more specifically, it's cool because it has the updated text, what you're going to want. But honestly, if you're not going to be getting the Ultimate Rare, which is, that's kind of expensive, it's about $30. The Ultimate Rare, of course, is really nice. Duelist Saga is really nice, but what I personally like is, you know, ultra rare here from Legendary Collections 3. But what I personally like is the original print. I am an original print kind of guy. I love original print. We got the new errata stuff here. And the first edition super rares from Pharaonic Guardian, ancient set, first generation, one of the first generation core sets that still had Yami Yugi on the front of the booster pack, super old school, just reminds me of really great old school Yu-Gi-Oh here. There's one here for less than $1. Be careful about super awesome cards. They're a really great seller. I'm not bagging on them or anything, but when they say lightly played, I mean they mean like lightly played to shit. Like anything borderline of like a crease or like a split or whatever is like fair game for them for lightly played. So I personally do not buy lightly played condition cards from this seller anymore because they get like borderline heavily played or lightly played or whatever one is below lightly played. So I would be careful about that. But all in all, this guy, he's got another lightly played for 97 cents. This is just such a powerful card, really good card, really diverse, really can lock things out. And just all across the board, it's literally like $1, dollar here, dollar here. There are a lot of one-ofs. Let me see if there's any, how many, there are 3 ofs. And then it goes all the way up to like not even $2, $1.50 for this guy had a 9 from Multi-Monster. So I think that's really great for what it is. I mean, the first edition original print Nectar Valley, I know there's higher rarities already printed, but if you're going for like how old, really ancient this card is, it's something to consider. Zombie World, this is really the only version I like. There's a lot of commons and a lot of those weird like Duelist League promo ones. I don't really like those. Those are really expensive for like no reason. I don't think they look that cool. But unfortunately, this is really the only kind of like nice attainable version of this card because the rest of them are just kind of like crappy commons. Which I mean, a common's a common. You can still play it, but I would personally want to get the ultra rares. I think I have 2 or 3. I want to say probably 2 of these first edition from the Legendary Collection for Joey's World, another infamous set. I really recommend you guys check out. There's a lot of awesome staple cards, just completely hollowed out and great rarities. And it's like about $8. So of course you want to get the first edition. And yeah, it's just about $8. So just in general, like this locks out, like this completely jacks up Salomon Greats, changes all their types so they can't dig into their extra deck. And it's, you know, anything that needs particular things or types for their extra deck, it just really jacks people up. More specifically, I'm thinking of Salmon Grades. I play and kind of mess around with zombies a lot ever since we got the Zombie Horde structure deck. Great support. I really love that deck. It's really fun. So kind of brought me back to this card. And then the last thing I want to talk about here, or I guess one of the last things I want to talk about here is Dual Terminal 3 and just how it was blowout. They had so many nice cards that are pretty expensive, like Skill Drain and Phalanx. I actually want to go over this deck core. I personally bought Dragoonity relatively recently, maxed out rarity DT and everything. But everything in here, like Lava Golem, is a pretty nice price for the first couple pages here. This looks really nice. Wabaku, I'm still waiting. This is one of my all-time favorite trap cards. I really love this card. I actually have one playset of this card. It's sitting at like $7 now. This has always been, you know, I think I got mine for I think fours or 5s or 3 or something. I think it was like 4 each or something. It was a long time ago, several years ago on eBay. But yeah, there's just a lot of nice cards in this set. So if you have DT3 stuff, congratulations, because there's just, I don't know, the first couple pages of like all this stuff is pretty desirable cards in general. But there is something I wanted to talk about that is this, I mean, so, I don't know, I don't think this is coming off the ban list anytime soon. Like I said, I'm an adamant believer that everything does come off the ban list. And I think this card is just really great, and DT, in my opinion, is the best rarity. I think there's a super rare Yeah, super rare from Champion Pack 4, which is like ridiculously expensive and not really attainable. These literally like tournament pack cards or champion pack card sets from like way back in the day, like first generation stuff, are just so old and expensive. And I consider them really just unattainable in my opinion. So for $2, a rare, it's not even a common, it's a rare dual terminal. I think that's pretty great. I know I have a couple myself. I'm waiting for this to come off the ban list because I think that'll pop off pretty quick. And it just got cool. It has cool artwork too. Let's see here. Did it go back on me? Waiting for this. I really want like a super rare, more like a secret rare would just look so great. I think Wabaku secret rare is one of my favorite rarities. And I think Wabaku would just look so beautiful on secret rare. Compulse is what I'm looking for. Compulse is like $1 for dual terminal common. There's some secret rares I want to show you that I showed in my other videos, which is super great, but like all down the line. This is fully unlocked. This is at 3. I love this card so much. I recently started picking back up Satellar Knights, and I rocked this at a playset. This card is just, it's so good. It's fully unlocked. It's really, any kind of boss, extra deck monster your opponent whips out on you, if they don't have any kind of like negation factor or defense, you just instantly deny them in the face and just send it right back to the extra deck. So I think in a game front where there's all these crazy extra deck monsters where you can just say no instantly with the flip of this card is really great. And these dual terminal comments are literally $1. I think it's super cheap. There's only 3 pages left. A lot of one-ofs over here. But another really great rarity is the secret rarities. I'm pretty sure it got secret rarities in both Legendary Collections 3 and 4. So here, yes, so Yugi's World and Joey's World both got secret rare prints, and they're literally like, they're even less. It's crazy. The secret rares are even less, which I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, I like dual terminal stuff too, but I would definitely rather have the secret rares. They look nicer, in my opinion. I mean, I have both. I love this card. I have tons. I have like a couple pages of dual terminal and several of the secret rares. But looking into this, this card is just so cheap too. Well under about $1 actually. About $1 here, all first editions, and doesn't really look like these are all one-ofs. Let me see, big sets, and then it jumps up to about $2 for the 3-ofs plus. So anyway, this is a healthy alternative, or I think this is just a great card in general. Maybe side deck. I main it. I just really love this card, and then of course Legendary Collection 3. The 3-ofs start about, same thing about $2. Duelist Academy. This is a really great seller. I love this seller. I've never had any problems with this seller. They always have a lot of quantity of stuff, and they're always usually close to the top for price, which is pretty great. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, I guess this is gonna kind of be the MVP or one of the MVP cards of this video because I spent so much time on it. But I just want to share that with you guys as well. Also, just the set in general, I constantly talk about this set. Legendary Collection 3 and Legendary Collection 4 definitely by far. As of late, Legendary Collection Kaiba as well. Actually, I want to look that up really quick. Let me see here. So this and the Joey's and the Yugi one, there's just literally such blowout cards. This was still, super sold out, and everyone opened the crap out of this set. And the hand traps are really great. It's awesome. I'm really surprised this didn't go down. This is still like for the first edition, it's still like $15. That's pretty crazy. But all the dragon stuff's in here and terraforming. Anyway, I just highly recommend you guys. I say it all the time. This this set and Legendary Collections 3 and 4 are just phenomenal. They have a lot of staple cards and a lot of awesome rarities. So I would definitely take a look at those. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you again so much for joining me on this video, and we'll see you in the next one.